People really need to criticize your work, right? And feedback is actually very useful, but some feedback from personal experiences with other people comes from like a seriously dark place of jealousy from them, right? So taking in the criticism from them without instantaneously getting defensive is actually a very powerful state of mind. And in summary, I say you should cut them off. But let's first be very careful about that, because don't just go jump on your high horse now and just go cut them off immediately. You need to like analyze them first, right? And you might think, they don't care about my passions, my work, my decisions, what I really want to do. But it's like, have you given them a reason to? Why should they? And I'm not trying to piss you off or anything. I genuinely had to ask myself this as well. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now. Why would they have to give a fuck or should give a fuck about my work? So, and don't take it personally, but like they might seem like they personally don't give a fuck, and they don't, right? But they just haven't really been given a reason to. So it's like, if I have to put it in perspective, it was kind of what I went over about very briefly about my last video of it's not the video games, right? When it came to my agency and when I started it, no, I don't sell courses, and I started the agency like 2 weeks ago. I don't have a retainer or client yet. So I'm not trying to sell you bullshit. People really care about the results you show and the audience that you are building along the way with the results and the clients that you eventually get, right? And the people who collaborate with you. The people who collaborate with you care about the work that you put in, not the excuses that you make. And how does that relate to cutting someone off, you may ask? It's pretty simple. Because, well, if I'm telling you to analyze people deeper and them deeper to see if they are the problem, or you are the problem, or both of you are the problem, that's really what I'm trying to say. You need to analyze them if they are the problem, if you're the problem, or both of you are a really toxic problem. Because cutting someone off primarily comes from toxicity. And people can be toxic, very fucking toxic. I mean, I've been before with my girlfriend, she's been before with me, and then we just call it off and talk it through. Sure, we can seriously get into they are holding you back, but if they are holding you back, then just simply don't entertain them and cut them off. Because if something is holding you back from where you need to be and your goal, then I just don't personally see a point of fucking keeping them. For instance, what I thought was my friends at a school I went to. Maybe they watch this video. I'm still cool with you, but you're holding me back. You've been holding me back. And so what I did is I don't obviously block them on WhatsApp. That's just a bit dramatic, right? I just take them off my social media. I don't block them on social media. I just remove them from my following. Now that's a bit I mean, that's pretty dramatic. Some of you might say, but I mean, I'm just trying to forget about them. Not like forget about them as in like fuck you, but forget about them as in, dude, I don't really see this getting anywhere. And the more I try and involve myself with you, it's just not going to pan out to my future longevity. So I need to keep you on the side for now. You're out of my journey for now. And if I don't see a point of having you in my journey later in life, then I mean, you're just going to stay out of it. I think blocking someone's number is a bit dramatic. It really depends on the situation. If they cheated on you or something. But I'd say I've got my notes here, by the way. The major things you should look at is this is a major one. Them not celebrating your wins, which connects to the dark place of jealousy that I mentioned earlier in this video, right? And the thing is with people that don't celebrate your wins, they are a person you should cut off, not because they don't celebrate your wins, but because they've got a very victimized mindset. And these type of people that have these victimized mindsets would be like, oh, you got that because you're lucky. You got that because you were given it to you. That it was given to you, sorry. And sure, some could say you got inheritance, your parents have a lot of money. Okay. But do they have the mental strength and capacity you do, to the point that you have to go work to get the equivalent? No, they don't. I'd rather be not financially well off, and have the mental strength and capacity I have right now than have inheritance and things just fucking given to me, because then I'd just be a pussy. Now, I'm not calling people with inheritance and that a pussy, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, anyone with inheritance, do they ever work? Do they ever really work from there onwards? Some do, and build that into a business or investments. But it's a different story. If you want a video about that, we can go into it. But I mean, let's go back to it. Sorry, I ramble on along. If you're new here, that's how it is. And victim mindset when they don't celebrate your wins, it's just not a very good person to have around you. It's very toxic. Take it from someone who had a major victim mindset like 3 weeks ago. I'm still working on it, dude. And I don't know if you're religious or not. You don't have to be. If you want, you can skip this part. But having a victimized mindset is quite of a sin. The comparison of others is a sin. It's a bait of Satan. And you should really go read that book, Bait of Satan by John Bevere, if you're a Christian, trust me. And another one I'd like to go into is repetitive hurt. This is also a pretty big one. But this is also a very complicated one, actually, because this either comes from a seriously deep place of trauma from them, which in your situation together with them might link with it. I don't know what you got going on that's caused them trauma. I think if you have that buildup of trauma related to that, it just gets. But the thing is, with repetitive hurt, you need to watch out for that shit. Because it's either trauma or manipulation or just being a straight dickhead. For the most part, I think it's manipulation. So I'm not a manipulator. I can't go in much depth there. So take it how you want to take it. I really think it's manipulation. Some people might use it as a manipulation tool. And a seriously bad one, which I would say is what I look out the most for, a lack of respect. Lack of respect, like them not respecting your time, the boundaries you've set, the values, your values, like your religion or something. You know what I mean? Bro, for me personally, I mean, this is just like cut them off territory. That's me personally. I don't know, it's different for you. But for me personally, without hesitation, get the fuck out of my life. Because they can also put others over you, right? That's also somewhat a lack of respect. Because what level do you see me as? To put certain people, and I don't mean just anyone, people that you've analyzed are just dickheads being put over you. And sure, you could talk this through with them. It's a long scenario, but I just personally don't see it being worth it. So when should you cut them off is a great question. I'd say those three. Lack of respect is the biggest one. I'd say repetitive hurt is one you need to watch out for and analyze. And then I'd say then not celebrating your wins. That's like, if I had to put it on a tier list, I'd say number one is lack of respect, get the fuck out of my life. Number two is them not celebrating your wins. I don't give a fuck if you're not celebrating my wins. But I know that if you don't celebrate my wins, you've got a victim mindset and you're not really a true friend, isn't it? And then repetitive hurt, watch out for that shit. That's number three, because that can either just be a place of trauma, it can seriously be manipulation. But I'd really want you with the repetitive hurt situation. You should talk them through it. And with any of these scenarios, you should talk to someone, specifically fucking them. And if they begin to retaliate against you and get defensive and so forth, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, go. That's me personally. That's pretty much what I have to say, man. If I had to go in depth one more time, it's just take criticism, understand jealousy and where it derives from. Victim, I don't fucking know. Is there another word for that? Whatever. Is there another word for victim? No, just victim. Siri just says victim. Hey Siri, just don't reply to me. See, this is like most women. They just that's what happens to me, dude. I just get left on red, man. Fuck off, Siri. That pissed me off. Look out for the victim mindsets. Look out for people's jealousy. Remember that jealousy derives from victim mindset, victim mentality. That's the word I was looking for. It's not even a word, it's just the two, whatever. analyze the person, try to talk through the person. If they begin to retaliate and defend themselves, that's your sign, fuck off, right? But then understand that you could also be the problem as well. That's why I brought the whole criticism thing into it, because you could both be toxic, right? You could both be feeding into each other's toxicity, which is not a great idea. That's that. And then people don't really give a fuck about what you got to say. They care about the result you get from what you've said. So go into that and understand that, like, for instance, no one gives a fuck about my YouTube channel. All of a sudden, they gave a fuck 2 days ago when I'm starting to seriously get my editing up and I'm starting to seriously get like more than 20 views now. They're going, oh, Jared, you're actually trying to do something. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean trying to do something? I've been trying to do something. You know what I mean? Fuck off. How that relates to cutting someone off is, as I said, both of you could be the problem. They could be the problem. You could be the problem. And then we go into the three major red flags of not celebrating your wins, repetitive hurting, lack of respect. Guys, please, lack of respect is on my middle finger because fuck you, go away. You know what I mean? That's that. That's what I have to say. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like the video if you'd like to. I don't really care. I just care about helping you, giving information out there that matters. And guys, that's it from me. Follow my Instagram, Jared Smith, all small letters _ Follow my TikTok. I don't know. I don't really care about TikTok. Follow my Instagram though, Tasha. And see you in the next one.